Hello, and welcome back to the Macro Gamer channel. My name is Mark Cassingham. Today we're going into week 46 of our Shield portfolio, our weekly numbers. This is as of Sunday, June 8th. Trying to keep up with what day we're on. So we're going to get into our numbers. So our current portfolio's net worth is $593.09. And we have a total return of $40.69 and an interest return of 13.24%. These are like all-time data. We have our portfolio weekly data for week 46. So this is as of May 30th, 2025 till today's date, 6/8/2025 or June 8th, 2025. You can see we have a net cash flow of $30.26. So this $30 deposit happened right here on like June 4th. We've had a market gain for the week of $4.85, and we've had no dividend earned, so it's a total gain of $4.85, and we have a money weighted return of 0.84%. So this is our weekly data for week 46. Our monthly data for week 46, this is as of May 6, 2025, again till today's date, June 8th, 2025. We have a net cash flow of $60, so it's two deposits. It's going to be one on May 14th and one on June 4th, so two $30 deposits. We have a market gain over this time period of 86 cents, very weak for a month, very weak. And dividend earned of 27 cents, which gives us a total gain of $1.13. And we've had a money weighted return for the month of 0.20%. So pretty volatile for the week, or sorry, for the month. It's kind of just went sideways, didn't do a whole lot. It's our monthly data. It's now our quarterly data for week 46. This is as of March 6, 2025 till today's date. We have for the past 3 months. So we have $150 of cash flow. So that's 5 deposits. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Everywhere you see a spike up on the chart. So 5 deposits. Over that time period, we have a market gain of $20.50. And we have a dividend earned of $1.01, which gives us a total gain of $21.51. We have a money weighted rate of return of positive 4.33%. It's pretty good for the quarter. So that's going to be for week 46. Now we have all-time data for week 46. So this is since portfolio inception, from when we started way back here in July 19th, 2024. We have cash flow of $550. So that's going to be every $30 deposit. So we have our first initial $100 deposit. And then we have $30 every third week. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 deposits, right? $30. So we get $450 plus our original $100 deposit puts us at $550. We have a market gain over that time period of $38.15. We have a dividend earned of $2.54, which gives us a total gain of $40.69, and that gives us a positive money weighted rate of return of 13.24%. Sorry, so we're up 13.24% since the portfolio's inception, right? So in double digits. Ideally, when we get to that yearly time frame, that's how I want to keep it. So we're doing good right now. Doing real good. Now we have our weekly percentages for week 46. So on the right, we have our target weighting for our assets. So at the top, we have 45% allocated to gold using our GLD ETF. We have 15% allocated to commodities using the USCI ETF. We have another 15% allocated to bonds using the GOVI ETF. We have 10% allocated to stocks using the RSP ETF. We have 10% allocated to US dollar currency with the UUP ETF. Then we have 5% allocated to Bitcoin with the IBIT ETF. So still at 45% gold, highest allocation. Still waiting for gold to break or something to happen before I reduce that down. Because again, just volatility. So our weekly return numbers. Gold, we have up 0.48% for a market gain of $1.25. Commodities up 4.26% for a market gain of $3.58. This is a really big week for commodities. Really big jump right here. We're going to see that on the chart. Bonds down 0.68% for a market loss of 59 cents. Stocks up 1.25% for a market gain of 72 cents. US dollar down 0.002% for a market loss of 1 penny. So basically nothing. And Bitcoin down 0.34% for a market loss of 10 pennies. And it's our weekly percentages for week 46. Now we have our monthly percentages for week 46. At the top, we have gold down for the month 2.76% for a market loss of $7.24. So a bit of a pullback there on gold. Commodities up 4.89% for a market gain of $3.92. So again, commodities still doing good. Bonds down 1.30% for a market loss of $1.09. Still losing on bonds, but bonds are so low and so cheap. I feel like at some point there's got to be a turnaround. I'm just continually being proved wrong on bonds. Stocks for the month up 5.04% for a market gain of $2.72. So good run for stocks. Good run for stocks for the month. US dollar up 0.44% for a market gain of 24 cents. Woohoo. Bitcoin up 9.80% for a market gain of $2.58 for the month. So really good for Bitcoin. It had a sell-off, then kind of a pull, then it rose back up. It's trying to like really hold above that $100,000 line. Now we have quarterly percentages for week 46. So this is over a 3-month period. So we have gold up 11.01%, market gain of $19.76. Commodities up 3.33% for a market gain of $2.75. Most of commodities gains were in the past month. Bonds down 4.39% for a market loss of $3.51. So still losing on bonds, but still stubbornly keeping it at 15%. Stocks up 1.30% for a market gain of 83 cents. US dollar down 4.37% for a market loss of $2.89. So dollar and bonds very similar in terms of their percent. Then we have Bitcoin up 18.80% for a market gain of $4.57. Get through the day. Quarterly percentages, week 46. That's what it is. Now, all-time percentages for week 46. Gold up 36.28% for a market gain of $34.33. Commodities up 14.62% for a market gain of $7.16. Bonds, we have nowhere nearly enough data. This is just after like 3 months or so. So we'll look at the chart. Stocks down 0.60% for a market gain of 26 cents. So we're almost break even on our all-time. We're almost break even. Gold, we're still up hella, but stocks are almost break even. US dollar down 10.05% for a market loss of $5.40. My fucking currency is dying. Sucks to be an American, seeing that. And then Bitcoin up 70.97%, call it 71%, for a market gain of $8.95. So Bitcoin's doing great. These are your all-time percentages for week 46. And Bitcoin's only going back to September 3rd of 2024, so it's still a really good run since then. We have my position changes. No new position changes for May. And then now we're in June. So April, again, was very volatile. I changed 6 times in 1 month. 6 times. The most I did it any other month was 2 times. Like in October 24, I did it twice. August twice. There's not much, but like in April of 25, 6 times. 6 times moved money around. It was a very volatile month. Right. We have our portfolio transactions for weeks 46. So I deposited $30. So every 3 weeks, every week is technically $10 that I auto deposit. Just think of like lunch money, a little bit of lunch money every week. But the way the account works is when you hit $25 in your cash account or exceed it, then they auto deposit into your portfolio. So on the third week, it exceeds $25 and it takes the $30 from the 3 individual $10 deposits and puts it into the portfolio. So every third week, $30 comes in. And then it will buy the assets based on their percentage weighting and what the current value is at. So of that $30, $6.42 went into bonds, $3.79 went into stocks, $5.07 went into U.S. currency, $8.28 went into commodities, and $6.70 went into gold. And that was of June 4th, 2025. So this is our, and whenever you see the one excluded, it's like less than $1 that goes into it. So it's like really tiny amount. Illuvium staking dashboard for week 46. We have a current price of $12.14. We currently have 18.18 ILV staked, which gives us a current market value of $220.71. We have our vesting for all of our tokens. So in 49 days, our very first vest is going to unlock. Likely, if the price is still low, I'm just going to leave it locked up. So if I get any payments, but if prices start going up because the game's getting popular, or crypto games are becoming popular, or for some other reason, I could sell this for a profit. Right now, I'm down, so I'm not going to sell. I'm just going to use it. I'm going to keep it locked up, and then I keep it staked. Sorry, and then I could potentially get revenue distribution from it. So let's the second page. So the most recent one I did on May 30th, 2025. So it unlocks in 356 days. So once a month, just $40, just buy the token and stake it. And then here's our current revenue distribution for week 46. So no new revenue. Currently we have 3 claimed revenue distributions that equal 0.024 ILV for a current market value of 29 cents. And we have no Illuvium transactions. And those are our weekly numbers. So now, fun stuff. Into the charts. So as always, we have our gold. All right, our biggest allocation. So we still have this. Let me zoom out a little bit. I'm sure you've all seen this. All 7 of you have seen this enough times. So October 23 going to today, this has been in a pretty steady uptrend all the way through. Then it broke out above the trend, but now it's kind of trying to consolidate. Maybe we'll connect the lines up, something like that. So I can't see past it, but somewhere something's going to happen around here, whether it's going to go above the line, whether it's going to go below this upper green line and maybe still stay in this trend, or it might just go down. Like this might be the absolute top. I don't know. As of right now, things look still uncertain. Gold is testing this little trend line, this short trend line. This is only going back to April, right? April 21st. But it's testing this trend line. So it's kind of just bouncing up and down this wedge pattern. But as you can see, gold overall still a very bullish pattern. So we're still in gold, 45% gold. The commodities, look at that spike up. Look at that spike up, that 4% or whatever I was getting. Boom, look at that spike up right there. My God. If you go back to, our trend back in July of 22, still been going up and to the right, up and to the right. And now it's just above the trend line, and it's staying there. It keeps trying to come down, but comes back. Comes right down, comes back, tries to come down, comes back up. So it's really staying there. Of course, we have our 5-year trend, where commodities have just been up and to the right. So not too much to add to that. It's just doing great. I don't know what's happening right now with commodities. I think it's all the uncertainty with tariffs and everything. I think people think everything's gonna be more expensive. Then we have bonds, still bouncing around in this range. Still at the very bottom though of the range. So it broke through, then it shot back up. So it's like it's trying to hold into this range, but it hasn't gone down. The lowest point would probably be around here, which would be 25.85 on this chart. Oops. And then of course on a 5-year, bonds have just been disgusting, just down and to the right. Very bad. But it looks like to me they were bottoming, but maybe they're not. Maybe they're going to break down even more. Who knows? But as of right now, still have that position at 15%. Even though bonds are doing good, it's at least more stable. And we have our US dollar, our UUP, still below this red trend line. So when I originally had this at 50%, it was going down. And then it got down to this low level, and I was like, fuck it, can't lose any more. Then it reversed. It went up after I sold some. But then it hit this red line and then came back down. So it's still down. There's this little tiny peak right here, this little tiny candle, but it's still overall down and it's below this red trend line. And I have these two trends crossing each other because I don't really have a defined trend yet. I'm still trying to figure out what it is. But right now it's not looking like anything. So I'm just like leaving this as is. Then we have our stocks, our equal weight. So you see it up to the right. We go back to October 2022. Pretty much up to the right, there's this area here in September, from September 23 to December 23, where it broke down, but then it came back up, and back into this trend, bounced around more, and then it broke down and out. Then we had our Liberation Day tariffs, and then we had the 90-day pause reversal. You know, just for comparison, look at the S&P 500. So it's right at that line. It wants to get back up into that trend so bad, but it's right at that line and it's bouncing around in it. Friday was a bit of a jump. I think it jumped over 1% in a day or something like that. Actually, it should tell me right here, right? Tripping? Yeah, 1.03%. So it jumped 1% in a day. So I don't know what happened on Friday, but it jumped as if people were optimistic again, but still not back in the trend. Still not back in the trend and still not at all-time highs. Then Bitcoin came down. What the fuck? Bitcoin's been coming down. It's been trying to hold, but it's been coming down. So you have this little trend drop right here. And where are we on the Bitcoin price? We're at 106, right? We're trying to get back to it. We're trying to get right above that red line, but you know this red line goes way back, like a decade long, and it's trying. People think, you know, there may be a new bull cycle if it breaks through, but I'm just like, I don't know. Looking at this line, I don't know. We're seeing what happens. But it's kind of just bouncing around this red line. We're going to see what happens. It did this before at the end of 24 and the beginning of 25. You know, so this isn't new, right? So we're going to see what happens. But anyway, you know, that's our update for the week. As always, if you have any questions, comments, or criticisms, let me know. Have a good day.